Thank you for tuning in. You are now tuned in to the Black Love Club with Richard Roots and Nikki Talk.
Yes. Hey guys.
And we are excited. We are excited to continue a topic that was brought back by special request from our viewers, which is what can a man get from a wife that he cannot get from a girlfriend?
Yes. Which was really good. We
And
talked about
we
that
are
last week. Oh,
excited.
sorry. We talked about that last week, which was really eye opening, and a lot of people had a lot of input. Um, so I'm just right now just letting people know that we are live, and I'm just sharing it to a few people and
Yes,
stuff
guys,
like that.
please share the live on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Please share our live.
Yeah, so I'm sharing it. But we're talking again about what can a man get from a wife that he cannot get from a girlfriend. And today we're going to be homing in on one of the points that were brought up, and just the benefits of that. So thank you guys for tuning in. Everybody that is in, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in, that girl Lay. Please give us your take on what can a man get from a wife that he can't get from a girlfriend.
Yes, so we're about to get into it in just a quick
Again,
second.
this topic is not to destroy relationships or the concept of marriage. We love marriages. We speak marriage. We are married. We are married, and we want to highlight that marriage is beneficial.
Yes.
But we want to hear from our viewers. What is it specifically that a man can get from a wife? I mean, a girlfriend that he can't get from a wife.
Yes, cool. And also, just to let you know a little bit about
I
more
said that
about us,
backwards.
we are the Black Love Club, and we have a radio talk show here on KBOB 89.9 FM. And we are, basically talking about everything relationships, just to build relationship, marriages, so people can know basically how to, carry themselves, and how to what to expect, and what to not only what to expect, but what to accept as well in a marriage or in a relationship. So we want people just to be kind of hip to that as well. So that's what we do here at the Black Love Club, and we talk about other relationships too, whether it's family and different things. Thank you for all the viewers who are in on Facebook and the viewers who are in on TikTok. Hi guys. So we're trying to get on TikTok more and do our lives as well. So we're about to go ahead and dive right in. Go ahead, you can take it away.
Shout out to the viewers on TikTok. All right, so what is it? So the real question is, what is it that a wife could get, a husband could get from a girlfriend that he can't get from a wife? Now, the real question from that is, what can a man get? What can a man benefit from marriage? I don't think that I've ever thought about it before I saw it trending on social media. But the reason why it's trending on social media is because a lot of men are starting to say, why get married? And I don't think that's necessarily what we want. I don't think we want to see a generation of people, a generation of men saying, you know what, we're not going to marry these women anymore. We're just going to.
Generation of women saying that too.
Right, right. Because when we get to that point where we're saying we're not going to marry anymore, then we're not being fair to our kids or our legacy.
Yeah.
Now we're no longer giving them an opportunity, giving our kids a fair opportunity to be raised in a house with a mother and a father.
Yes. And also, just even if you are, say, well, we stay together, we're in a home together and different things like that. So, we're raising them together. It's different benefits as well. Like some people mentioned last time, the hospital you wouldn't recognize you as a girlfriend versus a wife. So there's like a lot of decisions you can't make, that can be very beneficial, in the hospital setting, or far as owning a home and different things like that, or even as just as simple as your will, and just your legacy, what you're being left over, just things like that. Because some people can't afford to trust, right? Some people can't even afford to have a will, but just by you being their spouse, it automatically goes to you. So those are some of the benefits and everything like that. So
Right. So one of the things that I mentioned from last week was that one of the things a man should get as a reward of marriage is intimacy. So I think women give up intimacy too easy now, and it should only be reserved for marriage. Now, if you take a look at what life looks like if a woman reserved her intimacy until marriage, then that means that you only give him an opportunity to create a legacy through marriage. So now you have that commitment before this man could actually give you kids.
Yeah.
But when women give up that intimacy so early, you lose that opportunity to really create an impact in the beginning. Now, imagine this, and I said this last week, but if consider the message that the man receives when you tell him the only way to get into this door is through a covenant. When you tell that man that, then you give him the assurance that the only way another man could enter into that door is through a covenant. So when he's gone and he's working hard, he's working 2 jobs, he's working over the road, he's working off seas, he knows that the only way to get into this door is through a covenant. And I'm speaking in code. I hope y'all catch that because we're also broadcasting on the radio.
So yeah, but that, I think it has a lot of benefits. Now, I think a lot of times some people, let's talk about just the things that people would say, that especially that I've heard that like why they don't want to,
Yeah.
Especially from women, a lot of women, they don't want to wait because they feel as though, they won't be able, and I used to do Uber, and these were college kids. They went to Tulane University in New Orleans, and I'm doing Uber, and these girls, they're in the backseat and they're just talking. She was like, no, I really like him. She was just saying how he was a great guy, really great guy. This guy sounded like he came from money and everything. But she said she didn't want to be like with him in a committed relationship with him just yet, because she wanted just to continue having some fun, and she wanted to continue, she wanted to just, continue to just basically sleep around with other guys, so she can get that out, her system. And it's really sad that a young lady was thinking like this, because all the while you're doing this, anything can happen. You can have a baby, and I understand that there are ways that you don't have to have a baby anymore if you are pregnant. But at the same time, what if you get a STD?
Right.
And now that good guy that you could have had is gone because he don't want you, because at that point it's like, who wants you at that point?
Right.
So now you're stuck. So you can have STDs, STIs, all these different things, and then not just even on a health level, but even on just a mental level. You can't fully commit to your husband if you're comparing him to everybody that you have been with. So I don't think a lot of people think like that, because I see a lot of people that say they're unhappy in their marriages and different things like that. And most of the time it's because they're comparing their sex life to other people that they've been with. So it's just like, we have to be just really, mindful of those things. And I think that's like one, and that's coming from a woman, that's something that women have said, that they don't want to do it because they want to be able to see. So
right.
Yeah.
Right. Brianna said soul ties are real, and they most definitely are.
That.
Yeah, we actually want to actually speak on like why it's important to forget your past in order to have a good future, and not totally forget your past, but your past relationships.
Yeah. Give me some things men would say, and y'all can type in the comments too. Some things men would say as well, and some things women would say. Because now women saying a whole lot things that women wouldn't say back then. They're saying a whole lot now.
So there's a lot of things that a lot of reasons why men don't want to get married that we don't hear much about, because men aren't so vocal about these things. But one of the reasons why men don't want to get married is, and I think this one is responsible, because between the ages of 18 to 35 is when a man is really considered a man. But at this time, most men specifically most black men haven't accumulated, a level of success that they feel like even deemed worthy to start a family. So I mean, when we consider that, then why would you lay down with this man?
Yeah.
Most chances are, if he knows that he can't afford to take care of a family, then the chances are when you lay down with this man, if you get pregnant with a child, he's not going to be there. Now, could you blame him? I mean, of course, let's man up to our responsibility. I'm not saying don't man up to your responsibility, but we have to be honest and we have to be logical. We see this happens all the time. We see men walk away from their responsibility all the time. Why is it? Because they haven't accumulated the amount of success they feel like they need to provide for their child. So,
and also I want to also add, sometimes not just because they haven't, because obviously if they feel that much about success and they feel that much about wealth, then I think they will still try to stick it out, and they would try to still obtain that. But I think a lot of times some of the men they still have a boy mindset. So they was never prepared for that anything. They didn't want that, and they wasn't. I think it's sometimes the accountability falls back on the woman for the man that you allowed into your circle. So it's like I think a lot of times we don't take accountability for that. I see a lot of women call men deadbeats, but at the same time, we picked that man and we knew he was no good from the beginning. We seen it from the way he dressed, from the way he talked, the way he acted. But because we allowed that intimacy to take place and we laid down with him, and though it may have been good and it may have been great, now you're stuck with a child, and now you want to call this man a deadbeat because he runs off and skedaddles to the next girl. He never wanted that. He never wanted a family. So it's just like we have to be mindful of those things. We have to take accountability as well, because I think if it was a man that was concerned about success, he might still stick it out. You know, he'll still stick it out. And he'll still be there in that child's life, even if they don't work.
Yeah, and that is true too. I mean, kids will make a man out of a boy sometimes. Not that I'm encouraging that, but we do see examples of men, young men who have kids that man up real quick. Now they immediately start preparing for that life, for that child. But in a lot of cases, these men run because they know that they're not in a position to take care of a child. But celibacy until marriage could actually help reverse that.
And I think that's like, because I see a lot of cultures that do it and it works really great. And even in America there's people that do it as well. Christians do it, so it's like, or even if they don't consider themselves Christian but they follow the Bible, whatever, they still do it. But so some Archie, thank you for tuning in. Archie Johnson, he said, in a marriage you have to put the good Lord first, and He will fall into place. You have to be on the same level, and heavily yoked together. So you do have to be on the same level. You have to have the same mindset. You have to have the same goal. You have to be heading in the same direction. You can't be believing two different things in order for it to work. So I definitely agree with that. Brianna says, thank you for tuning in, Amora. She said she almost missed it. Rihanna, she says, men are more traditional than women think. Being breadwinners, having a woman who supports and submits, etc. The modern woman is more independent and not understanding the power and submission in a relationship. So there can be a disconnect, which makes a man hesitant to marry. And that is so true. We were just listening to a book. He was listening to an audio book and it was loud. And the man said that men don't really need a lot. If they are good for as a woman, they just need a woman who is unproblematic.
Yeah.
A woman that is unproblematic.
We simple.
And that's all they look for. Someone who won't, bring all that chaos, and someone who will listen and allow him to lead, and that's it, So it's like that's all we need. But I think a lot of times the disconnect, and I'm kind of going off a little bit, is because some women don't have fathers in their lives, so they never had to listen to a man direct them and guide them. So it's like when you get a man in your life, and then it's like, I don't know how to listen to you, because the only person I ever had to listen to was my mom, you know. So I never had to listen to a man. So if you never had your father in your life, you never had someone to lead. You only watch your mom do it. So in reality, you're gonna come in that relationship and you're gonna try to do it all because you watch your mom do it all. So I think it's a lot of times we don't really think about that aspect. I know it kind of went off. We talking about
Yeah, that was good
intimacy,
though.
but
Yeah.
I wanted to add that in too because Brianna brought that up, and I was like, I think sometimes that's the kind of the disconnect, the submission, and a man wants a woman that is unproblematic, you know, and or a woman that is moldable, you know.
Right. Now it's funny that it's funny that you say moldable too, because I love etymology. So when you consider the etymology of the word grooming, the word is actually within itself. Groom man. This is the groom. So the idea of the groom in its origin was to groom the woman. But today we have a lot of women who aren't malleable. This is why a lot of men will prefer women who have been raised with their fathers, just like you said, because she has already experienced being groomed by a man before. If this child hadn't had a father in her life, she's never experienced being groomed by a man. So when it's time for a man to groom her, now it's like, instead of a blessing, it's an attack to her. She can't even fathom the benefits of having a real good man that you have chose to groom you.
Yeah. We choose them, but then we don't want, things. But it also, I think it's like a double-edged sword, because then we have daughters growing up without fathers, and we also have fathers growing up without sons, because the man is missing. The man is missing. That's the key point. The man is missing from the home. So it's like we fall off there, because sometimes then the man does not really know how to lead the correct way or to groom the woman the correct way, because they never saw it done. So it's like they might do it in more of a rash way, or kind of harsh. They don't know how to say it. They don't know how to, they don't know how to do it with gentle. Because the woman, we're gentle, so please be gentle with us. So it's like they don't know how to do it. So we have that double-edged sword. And look, we going off, going a little off, but you wanted to just drop that in there. Amora says, she said, "Woo, this is the one." Yes, they've been screaming. They have been screaming. They just want a woman who rests in her femininity. Men are simple, and to stop bringing that same energy you seen your mom operating in. That's why she was a single mother. No disrespect, but a lot of women were single mothers just because of that. Because they didn't know how to rest in their femininity, or and they just couldn't obtain a man, or they were just really too independent. Or some of them would just focus a lot on their kids too, which is not necessarily always the best thing.
Resting in her femininity, that's facts. That's what a man wants. Notice, like, as throughout our whole series of asking people, what is it that a man could get from a marriage that he can't get from a girlfriend? We have never heard anyone say he can have the finances that she brings. He can have the career that she brings. Because we all know that a man isn't looking for a woman. A real man, as a masculine man, is not looking for a woman who's already ahead in her career. That's not a requirement. It's not a requirement. How much money is she bringing to the table? That's not a requirement for a real man, because a real man, his flex is that I provide for her. I make sure that I take care of her. She looks good because I've taken care of her. She's taking care of the kids because I was fortunate enough to take care of her. That's why it's always like, whenever a woman is successful, the man is going to be intimidated to approach her if she's making more money than him, because he wants to be able to make more money than her.
Yeah, because what can he offer you at this point?
Exactly.
And I think that's the independent women, I think it's, beautiful that our women, we go to college and stuff like that. But back in the day, women used to go to college to find a good man. Nowadays, we go and we keep getting all these degrees, and I'm trying to figure out, what do all these degrees prove at this point, And it's good to have, but at the same time, it just keep pushing us further and further out of what we need, what we actually need. We keep looking at success, but then I hear it so many times from women who are successful with their doctorates and all these things, PhDs and stuff, and they end up saying that I want a family, but men are too afraid to approach me, and they call them men insecure. But yeah, maybe they are a little insecure, and I don't think being insecure is a bad thing. But they
Depending
see
on
you,
the context,
yeah,
right?
depending on the context.
Right.
They see you, but at the same time, you know, um, they are definitely more afraid, to approach you because will this woman accept me? Do I have all too much? I don't probably have my stuff together for her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's a interesting thing. I want to go into some points you have down for you know why it is beneficial, because that's what we're talking about. Why is better? Well, what is it? What can a man get from a girlfriend that he can't get from a wife? Well, what can he get from a wife that he can't get from a girlfriend? So that's the topic for today. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you for your comments so far. Thank you for all the gifts on TikTok and different things like that. Thank you for tuning in. And we're talking about, basically, we wanted to home on intimacy and why it is better to withstand in the relationship, and not do anything, don't get busy wizzy, because it can bring about other things. And the first thing I want to talk about is emotional clarity, right? Because if you are in a relationship and you're just talking, and I think this is what keeps us really strong, because we have that emotional connection.
Mm-hmm.
We built that before we got busy wizzy. So, but you focus on that emotional bond, right? Basically, you're allowing yourselves to build that connection emotionally without anything else, because once you become intimate, it's hard to build that, because it's kind of cloudy now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if you really like him because he was good, or or is it because it's his mind and how he can speak to you and different things like that. You kind of get confused on that, and I think a lot of women end up getting confused on that. You want to give some?
No, I agree, because even like we all know this. Like, if we don't know how to communicate, when we get in our arguments, the way that we make up is what? Busy, however she said it. But that's how we make up. But when you mature and you learn how to communicate, which you actually make room for that if you take that out of the equation while you're getting to know that person. So you actually, in the process of getting to know that person, you learn how to communicate to them. And communication is key in order to get anywhere in life. Like right now, so I'm also reading another book called Spin Selling, because I'm getting into sales as well. And one thing I was telling my wife is that I noticed that sales is all about learning people so that you can get them to buy something that benefits them, right? Because you don't want to sell somebody something that don't benefit them. But that's the same way we study people relations and sales, so that we can learn how to give you something that you want and need. We should study our counterparts in the same fashion. Like, and we do. So as I study my wife, if I'm learning, okay, if I do this, I'm not going to be able to close this sale. Then if I say it like this, I'm not going to be able to close this sale. Then I need to rephrase how I bring this information to her. I need to maybe, set some time and set a schedule and say, hey, set an appointment and say, hey, maybe we could talk about this on another day, which are some things that we really do. So when I look at the stuff that we do in sales, it's the same thing we do in our personal relationship.
Yeah, and it just make you can clearly. I feel like the best thing, you can cut off your emotions, even if you don't take it to the level, a whole lot easier, and walk away from something that is not good for you. Because every person you talk to is not going to be great for you. But if you don't,
right.
if you never connected on that level, it's easier to see it in the beginning. Like, you know what, he's not good for me. Let me walk away. He can find somebody else. So I think that
is but you high on that dopamine though.
I know, and
it's hard to walk away.
Stuck, Rihanna says a girlfriend shows what she can bring to the table, or asking a man to show what he can bring to the table, which isn't a bad in the beginning. But as a wife, it is but a wife is the table. She fills the gaps in the home, marriage, and brings whatever is missing to the table, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And that's true. If you have that, building that emotional contact, that is you allowing to see what this man brings to the table. I'm so happy she brought that up, because you can see clearly what he's bringing. If he ain't bringing nothing, you can go ahead and bounce, you know. And I think a lot of times our women, we get stuck with really pathetic guys who are not up to the level that you're on, because we, you know, slept on the first night and all these different things like that, right? So we get all caught up, and now we're stuck. They're laughing because I say busy wizzy. Men, Amor said men can get from a real wife is loyalty, emotional connection, a woman to lead and guide their daughters, a life partner, and an in-home chef. Yes, they can get some good food, you know, hopefully, because a lot of women say they can't cook now. They be saying the husband could cook, and you know what, my husband, he do cook sometimes, but I definitely
Now,
heads up everything.
I'm gonna be real with you, Amor. This is one of the reasons why we're having this topic now. So she said, which is good, and it should be true. What she said is real wife. From a real wife, you get loyalty, emotional connection, a woman to lead and guide their daughters, a life partner, right, and in a home chef. So men are getting all of these things, everything that you listed. Men are getting all of these things from their girlfriends before a covenant. You know, there are men that have been in a relationship with a woman for 20 years.
Yeah.
And she's living with him.
Yeah.
She has his kids. He has a life partner.
Yeah.
She's his personal chef, and you know, this emotional connection, all of these things. And they have kids. This is why I say the only thing, in my opinion, the only thing that a man should be able to get from a wife that he can't get from a girlfriend is that busy wizzy.
Yeah.
You know, because from there, then you guys could actually build and establish a legacy. Like she said the last show, like Nikki said the last show, she said, if you don't work on your marriage, then you're gonna have to fight for your legacy. And when she said that, she meant the kids. You're gonna have to fight for your kids, you know. And I just saw a post just this morning, where a woman was saying, you know what, I'm tired of this no good man, you know, who brings any woman around my daughter, and I'm trying to raise her to be a woman, which is good. I mean, I understand that. I understand her frustration. This woman has to understand that she's fighting for her legacy.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why we always, like, when people start talking about divorce, we're always asking them, have you really considered the consequences of separation?
Yeah.
Because now you're going to have to fight for your legacy. Yeah. And those kids are your legacy. Everything that we do is for our kids. Like the Bible says in Proverbs, it says, a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, because that's our legacy.
Yeah, that's true. Now get into a little into you have a deeper with you. Don't get busy with it first. You have a deeper connection. The first one is emotional clarity, and the second one is deeper communication. I can't read. Deeper communication. So it's just basically you understand how to communicate. You kind of got into that one already. You understand a little bit more how to communicate and different things like that. So it's like you are not, you don't have, you know, just that trouble saying what you need. You know, you're not afraid of, you know, of them walking out and different things like that. You learned how to sit down and talk and really get to the root issue of different things like that. The third one will be strengthen commitments and self-control, which is really good. Self-control, because if a man can control himself, then it can get wild, you know. Or if or if a woman can't control herself either, because it go both ways. You know, men and women have to learn how to control themselves and have that just that self-control and stuff like that. And then you test the patience and the commitment level as well. So you know this man is really committed. If he's waiting, he's really committed. Let me read some of these comments we have. Let's see.
Yeah,
Herbalist
that's good.
Table, thank you for tuning in. He said, this is some good material. Hopefully, our listeners and viewers grab some of this wisdom and add value to their contemporary and future selves. He said that so just like,
Elegantly.
yeah, I
Right.
know, like, wow, okay. So, Serenity said, I don't understand as why, thank you for tuning in too. I don't understand why, as women, we will put ourselves to risk to carry the seed of a man we don't know, and
Mm.
why a man will put his seed in a woman he doesn't know. There should
Yeah,
be
that's good.
definitely be no intimacy before commitment, which is so true, because you just laying down with anybody, you don't really know them, you don't know them like that, and it's just you end up you stuck with the baby, and sometimes it may work in different things like that, but other times that man could, like, you may never see him again, because some women sleep with people like that, and I'm putting it on a woman a lot more, because and it may seem harsh, because I think a man should have self-control, but at the same time a woman, we should be able to, not getting ourselves into situations. But I do think a lot of times that's just because we haven't been taught what to do in those situations, or how not to get in those situations. We haven't been taught those things. So I think, a lot of times it falls like that. So, men need self-control and women need self-control. Um, let's see. Where are we? So another thing it does, it avoids premature emotional attachment. And I think that's like really, really good, because you don't want to be getting attached with somebody and you feel like, I can't leave him alone. Wait, what's that song? I can't leave him alone. That could cause something
You know, I
to
don't know.
turn me on.
Oh,
Y'all
okay,
know
yeah,
that
yeah,
song.
yeah. I
I
know
think
that
it
song. Yeah.
was like Sierra or somebody. I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it was Sierra. But y'all know, and she couldn't leave that boy alone. She couldn't leave that boy alone, and she got stuck with
You know
somebody
what? I
like
noticed
Future
too.
before she fell in Russell.
So some people, and we all know this is 100% true, that some people, men and women, would have relations with an individual just so that they can have a lifelong commitment with them. And I'm not talking about a marriage, but through kids. Like they would use a child as a trap to keep somebody
What?
forever. That's why,
Trap them.
again, that's why I put emphasis on this. Sexual intimacy should be reserved for marriage,
Yeah.
because we know too many people who have done this in the past just to trap somebody, because I consider this person to be a good person, but I don't want to live with them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't want to get trapped, and now you gotta raise his kids.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, or even make a decision that you're not too comfortable with, a decision that you can't live with. Because there's women who have done that, made a decision that they couldn't really live with just because they didn't really know that guy, and they have to live with that.
Right.
So that's like a big one too. So I know people that have done that, and they had to live with that. But you kind of had gotten into one of the things that I was gonna say, basically unplanned pregnancies. Unplanned pregnancies, STIs, all those different things, because you don't really know homeboy, you don't know who he be doing and what he be doing, or you don't know her, because nowadays it goes both ways, right?
Yeah, I just told you, one of my friends, he called me up and told me, man, a guy, he just saw a guy, he had a long face. He asked him what was going on, and the man said, man, I just found out that this girl, I was dealing with, she had HIV,
Yeah.
and now I have it.
And that is like, I feel like I hear so many people talk about that. I don't know if it's because we have social media, or is it just running rampant. But I hear some people talk about that. I'm in a group. It's a herbalist group, and they do a lot of healing, and different things like that. And I see so many people and down in sleep always putting, just found out they have herpes and different things like that, wondering what they can do, how to get rid of it, and all these different things. So it's just like, we don't even want to have to worry about how to get rid of something, and we just want to not get ourselves involved. And I think a lot of that starts in the home, before we go out into the world, before we, I think a lot is sometimes it's just missing from home, that understanding, that learning, that lesson, is not being taught. And I think that is just like a really big thing. So let's go into the comments. Serenity says, women will have to raise those kids regardless of the father, if the father chooses to be there or not, and that is so true. We got to
Mm-hmm.
use wisdom and have self control. That is true, because you there with them, and you got to raise them. You got to think about they daddy every time. That's why some women used to be so, you look just like your daddy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard so many people say that. I never heard that in my
I don't
home.
know if my mama listening,
I
but
never heard that in my home, but I've heard people say that. And it's just like, you hear that, and it's really, that brings emotional, uncalled trauma to the child. Now that child thinks that their father is no good, you know, and then if that child, most likely that child is going to end up doing the same thing, and it's going to be the same example of their father.
it kind of taints the relationship too with the
Mm-hmm.
mother and the son. Even because, I mean, consider it this way: because I love you, the mother of my children, when I look at my children, when I see you in them, I can just smile. Oh, she looks like her mother. I'm happy. But if I despise you, and I look at my child, who I'm proud of as my offspring, and she looks like that can bring anger and rage.
Mm-hmm.
And what that can do is that can really hinder relationship between the child and their parent, because now that child hates their father because they feel like their father is the reason why their mother hate them.
Yeah.
And they can hate their mother as well because they feel like they have never been treated fairly because of their relationship with their father.
Yeah, yeah, that's really true. Rihanna had said emotional attachment to potential without any growth or action showing is deadly. And that is true. Getting emotionally attached, and I think that really clouds women's minds. You know, because we confuse that with love,
Mm-hmm.
and that man has not proven himself to you not one bit. He hasn't proved that, he bought you some McDonald's and you feel fancy now, And it's like, no. It is, and some men think that this is sad, but I think it is very true. I love the cultures, yeah, especially the African cultures with the dowry. They have to prove themselves to the father that they are worthy to, be with this woman. And I think women, we need to step up and just really show us, like, no, what can you provide for me? What can you do for me? Because if you can't do anything for me, if you can't provide a home, if you can't provide wealth, and people might say, oh, but that sounds like gold digging. No, that's not. That's making sure that you're secure. You can't provide wealth, because if I have your kids, I don't want us to be out there begging and our kids looking bad, and just look, no, that's not the life I want. No, we have to start asking these questions, like, what can you provide for me? What are you bringing to the table? Lay it out. In Indian cultures, they have to lay it out. These fathers have to see the tax returns for up back to 5 years for these men. They have to see all this stuff. They don't just send their daughters off with no anybody.
Yeah, you have to remember that the that young lady is looking for a husband to treat her like her father.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't struggling in her father's house.
Nope.
Her father made sure that there was food every day. He took care of them. He protected them. So if a man can't, provide and protect a woman, then, she's, of course, she's not going to be looking for that man. Now, if she grew up in a house where she hadn't had much, maybe she will then, because I mean she's already used to it.
Yeah.
But even in those cases, most women in our communities that we grew up with, they're still looking for a man, to provide for them, even
Because they don't want to live the way that
because they
used to
don't.
live.
Yeah, they don't want to live that way
Yeah,
anymore.
they know what struggle is. Let's not
Yeah.
continue it.
Right.
I want my kids to see a different side. I want to experience a different side, and there is nothing wrong with a woman asking for that. We have to, because guess what? When we do that, we put pressure on men, and men start getting their stuff together. They start getting their stuff together, because in the end, they end up, as they mature, they start looking at legacy. They start looking at, basically, what are they leaving on this earth? And they want to leave, good things. So they want a good wife. So if we put the pressure and we withhold from them, then they are, they're going to basically fall in line. I think everything begins and starts with the woman, honestly, because we are the nurturers of the home. And we're going to raise our sons to be great men, you know. So
I would say this as a response, as a responsibility for the woman, because when we're considering, the man being able to provide, like I mentioned earlier, from ages 19 to probably 25, a man, he's not able to really provide for a family. So he hadn't really even tapped into his career yet. And now the today's man have to, compete with women for the same position to provide.
yeah.
Because now those positions that really provide are managers positions and stuff like that, and women are taking those positions.
Mm-hmm.
Hard labor jobs really don't pay much anymore.
Yeah.
So what I would say to a young woman, if you want a young man, you would have to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Help him, help build him. That's another topic for another day too. Should
Yeah.
a woman build a man? Now that's a full topic
Yeah, that's
for
a
another
full
day.
topic.
But I think women should keep that in mind, because if that's not the case, your only option realistically is an older man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you're 19 years old and you want that kind of stability, then the pool of men that are 19 are going to be really small,
Yeah.
who has their stuff together.
And we knew this. We knew this. We always heard in high school. We always talked about it, how women mature faster than men mentally, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we always heard that, like, So it's just like, yeah, sometimes you probably will want an older man, somebody who can give you that stability and, that control. Travis said, thank you for tuning in, Travis. He said, men change when they want to. And that is so true. Men change when they want to. He said, a man is in control. She will follow your lead. You have to show her that's my idea. It is good idea. Not to just tell her. That is true. Yeah, you
That's
have
good.
to. You gotta.
That's good.
You have to show her. Show her. Don't just tell, because
Right.
it's just like, a father. A father is he's gonna show you. I've seen something else up here at the top. Amor said, sex is too easy to get nowadays because it is not being reserved for marriage. That's one of the main reasons people don't care about marriage anymore. And the media and the culture
100%.
is pushing it. Like
100%.
the songs are. I mean, that girl Sexy Red and all these other people, Meg Thee Stallion,
All the female
Cardi
artists.
B. I mean,
Yeah.
it just it's like why, and then more women wants to put out that type of music. Like, no, put some clothes on and sing about something different. Rap about something different. Be the change. Go against it. But these people look at money and they rather that money and fame, and they bring other little girls down that road. Herbalist Table say, unfortunately, we see the busy wizzy, and if you don't know what busy
Here we go
wizzy is,
again.
busy wizzy is this, it's getting intimate before. He said, if he wasn't tuned in before, unfortunately, we see busy wizzy as the precursor to marriage rather than the contrary, because this is now the social norm. Men don't take the woman of today seriously because your body counts matter, and
that's
that is
exactly
so true.
what I said
Body
earlier.
counts matter.
Mhm.
Look, people be thinking that they don't matter, and they be out there doing what they want to do, swinging from chandeliers, and ain't no man gonna want you.
Yeah, if a man is not serious about you, he's gonna tell you it don't matter just because he want to be in that number.
Yeah.
But when he's serious about you and he want to make a future with you, then he's gonna tell you, it does matter. Just like that was a song that we used to sing when we was coming up. It's sad that we used to sing this as kids, but it's the truth, and it still stands firm today. So you can't turn a 304
A 304.
a 304 to a housewife, and that still applies. Like, what classifies a woman to be a 304? I'm gonna let you figure that out. But that mentality is still the same, because if this woman is like a 304 before you marry her and you marry her, then you can't get mad when she's a 304 when you marry her.
And I know a lot of people we want to say is they can explore their sexuality. That's cute and all. That's cute and all until you end up,
We might
looking
just do
silly.
that. Travis, oh no, that's Herbalist Table. He said that's a T-shirt. Body count matters.
No. Oh my gosh.
I put the
Oh.
emojis on there, the laughing emojis and everything on there. Body count matters.
Oh my gosh. But Barbara, thank you.
BCM.
For tuning in. I get to call her Barbara on the show. Thank you. Barbara D says, I think it's because women talk to their children negative about the father because the relationship between the father and mother, in her opinion, which is true.
That's true,
always
yeah.
because that, your daddy no good because he ain't really want to be with the mom, and so it's like, boom. Now it's is all, it gets like that. So
Shout
it's really
out to
crazy.
Luis too from TikTok. He said,
Yes.
"Love this, love the radio,
Thank you, Louise, from
love the radio show."
TikTok.
So you can't join the live. That would be awesome, but you can actually call in. So thank you for following us. I'm gonna send you the call in number and your private chat
Yes,
so that you can
but
call in next week.
but follow us. If you follow us, you'll see us again on TikTok, and we'll be talking about these same topics and more. And you'll be able to join panel discussions. But thank you. Um, Serenity says we want stability. That is so true. We want stability. We don't want to be, no, we don't want that. We don't we don't want the struggle bus. Amore said, "Baby, Busy Wizzy is trending."
It is.
And she probably said it in a New Orleans accent, so she was like, "Babe, it's been Busy Wizzy is trending." All right. Herbalist Table, thank you for the emojis. I read Trap is one. I had to go back up. Serenity said, women need to create space for their husband to be great and obtain access. That is true. We have to create that space, and sometimes, and we have to understand this too.
That's
If
the
you with
topic,
somebody,
too.
because some women be like, they'll hear this conversation and they'll jump and be like, I gotta divorce my husband because he ain't got it together, right? They'll hear something like that. And the thing is, no, create the space to help him be great, right?
Mhm.
Because let's be real about it. A lot of men haven't grown up with the example, and a lot of women, we haven't grown up with the example either. So let's help them get there. And there is a way that you can help them get there and different things like that and help them reach those assets, right? So it says, Amore says, it takes the right woman to bring out that man's greatness. And that is so true. It takes the right woman. You treat that man great, he'll be great to you. And that's true. That is so true. I feel like that's how it is in a relationship. If you do right, and I mean in some relationships it's not like that. Some people just be crazy, but if you do right, then they're gonna do right and they're gonna shower with you. They're gonna want to provide for you. So let's see. Travis said, oh, I think he was responding to somebody else. But yeah, I think that's what we got. He said, for you to say baby like you from Tulsa. Ah, no, that's funny. I probably didn't say it right. Yeah, I probably didn't. I was caught off guard. But yeah, so, no, but this is, you gotta get that bomb sound effect. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you so much, guys. Y'all, this is, I love this. I love the conversation, but I think it's very important for us choosing celibacy. I think celibacy allows people to really focus, to focus on their goals, because they're not clouding their mind with other things. And so it's just like, if you can just focus, especially as a man. If a man is celibate and he's not running from woman to woman, only thing that man is going to be thinking about doing is getting money, because that's what men think about doing, is getting money. They think about that. But if they're not thinking about getting women, then they basically, my stomach is growling. But they're just going to be thinking about getting money. And if they're going to just think about getting money, they're going to come up with creative ways to get it, and they're going to look into different things like that. They're going to find different resources. So the man is just going to be getting it and going, right? And then he gonna be ready for that woman, and when that woman find him, he gonna be all together, and she gonna live a good life. Because I think women, we should live really good lives. Let's be real. Women should live great lives. We should be provided a great life because we bring in the world, right?
Now look, so this something that I told my wife maybe 2 years ago. I was working a 9 to 5, and I shouldn't even call it a 9 to 5. It was a 9 to
Slave ship.
9 in the morning. 24-hour job. But no, so I was working a lot. So I told my wife, I can provide for you all of the necessities that we need. And I will even within our budget, we have blow money. So whenever you want to do something, you can do that. Now I told her, if you want anything more than what this budget provides for, while you at home, you need to come up with a way for me to make extra money. So, and if she come up with a way for me to make extra money, then I'm going to do it. When I get off of my 9 to 5 or my 9 to 9, I'm going to do it because I love her that much. Because she's doing everything that she needs to do for me, I'm going to do everything that I need to do for her and more. And that's just the mentality of a man. We're going to always try to outlove a woman. because if we're going to lead from every aspect. So if a woman is giving us everything, we're going to give them everything, and we're going to invent some stuff that don't even exist so we can outgive her. You know, so when I tasked her with that, she did actually bring up some more ideas. She gave some creative ideas. She actually helped on like everything. So we're photographers. All of the administrative work, my wife has done it herself. She built our website. She do all the customers interaction. She's over sales and marketing. She's doing all of these things while I'm at work. You know, so every dollar she brings in, she can do whatever it is that she imagined with that, as long as all of the bills and everything is paid 1st. So I mean, I would pass that mentality on to any woman. Don't stress your man out. Do not stress. And we do have that boom that we do have that boom sound effect too. So we're gonna start implementing that via request. But yeah, my mind is like, I got that ADHD. My wife don't like me saying that, but I got ADHD. My mind goes 1,000 places at one time. But yeah, I would encourage young women, if you want anything more than what your man provide, then you come up with a plan.
Yeah.
Help him out. Help him. You're not even helping him out. You're helping y'all out.
Yeah.
If you want to go on that vacation, you come up with a plan. Start selling some shirts. Say, hey, look, you know, not just sell a shirt. Come up with a plan to sell a shirt, you know. But
Go out there and do it.
he's responsible for taking care of your needs. Your needs. So as long as he provide for you, as long as he's paying the bills, you have food on your table, you have clothes on your back, and y'all have AC and everything in y'all house, he's taking care of his responsibility.
Yeah.
If you want anything more than that, come up with a plan and give it to him and say, hey, what do you think about this? I guarantee you, if it's a foolproof plan that he can do, he's going to do it, and then you can reap the benefits.
Yeah, it's true. Because men, they go out their way to provide, you know, for the woman that they love. Like, you know, like, when you think about it, like, they had men back in the day, and okay, this might be fairy tale, but they would go and fight a dragon to get the princess to marry her because they really wanted her and different things like that. So men gonna do what they gotta do to get the woman, right? So it's nothing. It's nothing. Men are gonna do what they gotta do. They're gonna fight. They're gonna do whatever they have to do to get that woman, because that's just the nature of the man. You know, that's just the nature of any man. Like, even animals, they're gonna fight for that woman.
Yeah,
like,
that's
so it's just like they're gonna show off. You know, like I was watching National Geographic and they had these birds. I mean, doing this little crazy dance to get the woman's attention, and they have to show their little feathers and different things like that, and how colorful they are. And if the woman didn't want you, she'll just walk off, and then she'll go to the other man, you know. And they got some other animals that just like fight. They will fight. Like, they got dung beetles. Y'all, I'm sorry, I be watching so many documentaries. They will fight, like literally fight for the woman attention, and bring her like the biggest piece of dung. It's crazy, but they're animals. But men gonna do what they gotta do in every part of the kingdom of
Yeah, I will fight animals to protect you. But if I gotta fight a dragon to get you, I'm gonna say, what you did to that dragon? What you did to this dragon to make him this mad? No, I'm joking.
You're gonna leave me. Great.
I'm
All right,
joking.
you heard that. Amor says, so true. She loves a strong leader. Men are capable of giving a woman the world if she lets him. Let that man lead and see how far he takes you. And family, y'all create. A real man don't rest until his family's free. That is so true. Men will stay up all day just trying to make money just so that the home is straight. You know, like, you know, we'd be like, go to sleep. Nah, I gotta get this because we gotta get it done. You know, you'd be like, just rest. And they'd be like, no, I can't rest. You know, men gonna do it. Said, man, don't bring me no dung. Rihanna said, we are called to be fruitful and multiply, and that's just not kids. Exactly. Wealth. We need to build generational wealth. You know, when we think about just like even like just the kings and stuff like that, you know, even biblically, you think about that. You think about people built generational wealth and they left things for their kids. We have to leave that. You know, we have to leave something for our kids and build that generational wealth, whether it's land, whether it's, you know, finances, whatever. We need to build this generational wealth, because look, it ain't nothing wrong with money. Ain't nothing wrong with money. Ain't nothing wrong with living a life, you know, that, you know, we deserve. Because I do feel like women should just live, you know, and I'm probably saying this twice, but women should live really great lives because we bring in the seeds on this earth, and our bodies go through a lot. So we should live comfortable, pretty lives, you know. And I mean, we see it with like all the other cultures. I think America just misses it sometimes because America got too much this media stuff going on.
Yeah, we lost that village mentality, and that village mentality used to play a huge part in relieving the woman.
Yeah.
And now we don't have that anymore. You know, now, back then, I love it. I love hearing the stories when, Uncle Bobby's like talking about, when parents back then, they used to be the last people to whoop you, because if you did anything wrong, the people in the village was gonna whoop you first, and then they'll let your parent. You will hope that they didn't tell your parent, because when the news got to your parent, then your parent was gonna whoop you too. That was a village mentality, and what existed in that village mentality was the fact that we knew that none of us were enemies, but now we've all become enemies. That's something I say. It takes a village to raise a child. But what happens when the village become villains? Who gonna raise them now? And that's exactly what happened to our culture. Like, we're all villains.
Yeah.
So if somebody whooped my child, automatically, and I'm speaking hypothetically, if somebody whooped my child, automatically, I think they're doing this to hurt my child.
Yeah.
Versus back then, if somebody whooped my child, I'm upset with my child. What did you do to deserve this whooping? So now we can't even take.
Can't touch them.
Yeah, you can't touch nobody else's child, and we think that this helps us, but it robbed us.
Yeah.
Because now we don't have anybody to help pull. Like, that was extra eyes. But now, we can't have people telling us what our kid did anymore. Not my son, not my daughter.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Serenity said driving her Mustang, sipping her cappuccino. I know that's right, girl. We're gonna live good lives. It's just like, look, hey, feet kicked up, type lives. I'm gonna make sure the home is straight and everything like that. The kids gonna be fed. You gonna be fed. We gonna be fed. Look, the house is gonna be clean. And my husband be so good. Y'all, like, kids just be want to throw, just dirty up your house. They're terrible little creatures. But
the demolition crew.
But he would just be like, nah, turn around. Because, y'all, I really love my living room. At least my living room and kitchen, just let it look good. Y'all room, we gonna work on it. But please let my living room and kitchen look good, because it gives me peace. It gives me a lot of peace. And I don't be fussing at everybody, because sometimes we get in the house and I'll be like, look at this, get this toy up, look at this. And I'll be fussing. I'll be like, oh, he just hate to see me like that. So he be really on them. So, yeah. Rose said, you just said a word, today's village are villains. Ooh, yes. Yeah. Amor said they smell a clean area. Yes, they smell it. They're like little terrible monsters. And they just think about ways they could just dirty it up. Like, it's crazy.
Oh, y'all, they clean now, and they clean good too.
Oh yeah, he be
Man,
on them so much.
My son Jojo, he flipped the chair over and he's cleaning underneath the chair when he sit down. Yeah. I told him, even if you don't see anything, still clean it up, because ants could smell it. And they're cleaning. I mean, he took that to the next level, y'all. He really flipped it. I had to mop the floor after he finished, because he done pulled so much. So we do a mixture that's safe for the kids too. So we don't give them chemicals. We give them
safe.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you the mixes. I just put water in there with some Dawn dishwasher liquid in there. Yeah, and they be cleaning real good with it.
Yeah, that's good. Y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. This was a really good conversation. They say I love them some JoJo. JoJo is the sweetest.
Yeah, he is.
And
little man.
This is a really good conversation. Next week we have another topic. We're gonna post it on the page. The next topic for next week, because I don't know exactly where I wrote it at. But this is really good. This is a really good conversation. I love all of your input. I think everybody who stayed in from the beginning to the end, people that popped in, popped out. Thank you for Archie. You tuned in. Archie was a first time viewer. Well, at least he was a first time commenter, because I don't know if he viewed before. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you all for the love, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
All right, thank y'all for tuning in. on
Oh,
TikTok.
on TikTok. Thank y'all for tuning in on TikTok. Thank you.
And thank you for the
everybody.
follows. Thank you for the loves. You guys will be back every Thursday at 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. If you would like to be a part of the conversation, just go ahead and back chat us and we'll give you the information to be a part of the conversation. But thank you guys so much for your support. Until next time.
Bye. Yeah, we got what?
Dang, that was 184 viewers.
Popped in and out. But we had like 5 people that stayed.
Y'all
in,
got
like,
184 viewers
On TikTok.
on TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 5 people stayed in consistently.
Yeah,
One
so-
person followed us.
Yeah, and I'm gonna send that
A lot of
guy
people had liked
the
the
information.
video.
I'm gonna follow him back and send him the information. So we didn't want to put the phone number over TikTok live. We didn't want to put the phone number over TikTok live.
What's that? What phone number?
This phone number.
You
This
didn't want.
TikTok.
You didn't want to?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was thinking like I know sometimes TikTok it can have like all type because I've been live on TikTok on my channel and sometimes you have like real just crazy people hopping in and stuff like that.
Crazy people hopping in on
Yeah,
TikTok.
so I was like, I don't know if I want to put the number out there on TikTok. You know, they just be
Doing
basically
doing
kind
the
of
most.
trolling, doing stuff like that. So I was like, I don't know if we want to put the number on TikTok.
Yeah, the crowd is a little bit different on TikTok.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't use it as much as y'all do. You know.
But they be,
Yeah, I've heard.
yeah. So
I know it's a powerful platform, though.
It is. It is.
yeah.
Like
It is.
one of the number one
It
platforms.
is.
ain't
Yeah,
it?
it is.